following a meeting of the Congress Legislative Party to discuss various issues relating to the state, including border talks between Meghalaya and Assam that have resumed under Chief Minister Conrad Sangma and his counterpart Himanta Biswa Sarma. Leader of Opposition Dr. Mukul Sangma today stated that the detailed documentation prepared by his government relating to the border should be the basis for bilateral discussions. He stated that during both the CM's joint briefing, Sarma had referred to the document and had said that they had different interpretations and have their own stance to Meghalaya's claims, and therefore Dr. Mukul stressed that any decision taken by the government should be acceptable to the people of the state.
Exhaustive documentation which was prepared by our government then was submitted, placed before our counterpart in our discussion at the Chief Minister's level. Subsequent to that, our counterpart Assam government has asked for time, since it was a bulky document referring to various notifications from the time of the British era prior to independence, subsequent notification after independence. So obviously they wanted some time, and that time went on. They sought for more and more time, and based on this documentation, which reinforce our stand in as far as our claim and justification thereof pertaining to these areas of difference along the Assam-Meghalaya border is concerned, all the negotiation and discussion with our counterparts should follow. That should be the basis based on which the discussion should be on. In the recent press briefing, which was basically a joint press briefing by the two chief ministers of Assam and Meghalaya, we could hear the Chief Minister of Assam referring to that documentation which has been submitted by government of Meghalaya. And he was heard saying that based on those claims and justification, whatever was submitted by the state of Meghalaya, they also have their own interpretation and their stand. Therefore, obviously, they are indicating that they vary. Meaning, they would probably try to deviate from those justification, which forms the part of that exhaustive huge compilation of interpretation of the records to substantiate and reinforce our claim. But the fact remains that this whole documentation is available with the state government, and that should form part of the basis based on which the bilateral discussion should follow. If there is some kind of any new creation of disturbance in those areas where we should not have any disturbance or any kind of confusion or lack of clarity pertaining to the areas, then government has to be held accountable for failure to protect the interests of our people. We should not be seen as somebody who have decided something which is against the will of the people, because in democracy, people have confidence on this system, and people will have confidence on system only when our response to any given situation is seen inconsistent with the will of the people, desires of the people.